Hello, this is a heart opening flow from my heart to yours. We're opening up more space for the heart to shine its inner light. I'm going to use my blocks as well as my half roller. So when you're able, come to your most comfortable position, your most comfortable space where you feel supportive and feel the love that you're going to give to your body right here and right now. So once you're here, maybe crossing the ankles or maybe just simply bending the knees. But wherever you're at, let your breath give some charge to your heart. And maybe when you're ready, close your eyes. If you need more grounding energy, the palms are down. If you need more receiving energy, your palms are facing up. I like to keep my ankles flexed so that also creates more of my seat to root and my spine to lengthen, and letting the mind take the back seat and letting the breath take the front seat. It's totally natural that we're so much more focused on our monkey mind, but right here, right now, let the brain have a break. And let your subconscious, your breath, lead the way. And be curious as to how you oxygenate your heart. Curious of how that breath enters your body. Maybe giving a count to your breath. Allowing the inhales to be a little shorter than the exhales. So we create space for more breath to give to the heart, to the lungs, and to every single cell inside of you. Pretty amazing. So inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to your most natural breath. Sense any change. Sense how you breathe from right to left of your body. Maybe using a yoga block and positioning underneath the armpit of your right side. Be the observer of your breath here as you expand and open up the spaces of your costals, those ribs, putting some tangible touch as you breathe, pressing into the side of your block with your breath or your hand, and not allowing the collarbones to close down. Feel that gliding sensation of how those collarbones widen into the shoulders. And gently moving that yoga block. And coming back to your natural breath. Maybe even sensing easier expansion on the side that you just tantalized the senses with. The gift of touch, really expanding new ways of moving, even with it comes to your breath. And it feels amazing to always come back to that present, always coming back to the breath. I'm gonna bring it to the opposite side as I position the block underneath the armpit. And expanding, opening up that space between each of those rib bones. Getting the collarbones to widen. Getting the shoulder blade to here on the back body. Letting my heart space have more space for this amazing breath. And letting that go. Simply be. The gift of simply being at peace with your breathing, with your breath, and how good that feels. Not having any of the cares of the world, being heavy on the heart, but instead feeling lightness in the opposite direction. That lightness of expansion, of that heart space, brings a smile, brings easement and hope for the new day ahead. Bring the hands on that heart space and holding on the inhale and opening up the mouth, letting that go. Opening it out, opening up the mouth, letting that shit go that does not give you pleasure and happiness in everything that you do in your life. Inhale, holding at the top, opening the mouth, maybe even feeling a vibration element deep within, to your hands, to your toes, to your center of your being. Across the arms so they match at the wrists, and open up the fingers, biceps are by the ear bones, and feeling that expansion into those ribs, and on the exhale, bending at the elbows and bringing the fingers to tent in front of you, and just watching the movement of those ribs from side to side. as you crawl the fingertips back, maybe switching sides, reaching, positioning, putting a little love tap of the wrist to allow that breath to flow, feeling a little hingement on that belly button as the elbows float to the front, fingertips touch. Sense the available space in the heart center here as you coax the fingers back as the chest moves forwards. My sitting bones are still anchored to the floor as I find some movement in the ribs. We were breathing into them, so where we have breath, we have movement. Crawling them back. One more time. Adding that reach, expanding, maybe energetically reaching those knees like if they're being pulled to the sides of the room as you open up that delicious energy into the fingers. Using touch sensation and the tips of those fingers. Feel that balance of heart moving forward. Wrap those triceps. Feel the underside of the armpit strength working. Maybe separating the fingers. Using our ground to get that spice of space into the thumbs. Really stretching the index finger and the thumb away from each other. Maybe stimulating the flesh of the forearm. Maybe using my opposite hand to do the same thing that the floor was doing. And then open it out. Landing the hand, squeezing out the ribs, adding that lightness of my heart to open, maybe bending the back elbow so I can really again adhere that blade up close and personal to the back body. And then crawling back to front. Sense how using the ground force from your fingertips, you get this energetic opening of space into your heart center. Stretch it out. Make it feel amazing and delicious. Didn't even know that it felt so good to touch your hands. The tissue that's in the hands and the forearms all are supportive. The same tissue that supports and protects the heart. Bring it out. Keep actively imprint of your bootylicious into the floor. Maybe energize those knees as you bend at that back elbow, opening up space, pulling everything in as your heart reaches out. Maybe pedaling the hands like you're kind of finding your nest. Usually animals you see kind of pushing into their bed or their nest, or maybe sometimes they find some happy on your belly as they knead their way like a cat. Just kind of pick it up, float it up, sense how you can articulate movement of the fingers, of the wrists, like a wave, growing stronger, growing with more length. just feels awesome to reach and to lift, to ground down all at the same time. One more. And settle the hands to the heart. Maybe feel the beat of your heart here. And notice your breath. Is it happier? I hope so. Let's come to quadruped. Maybe with blocks, sometimes that helps. Anytime you need to let that floor be lifted up towards you, gripping the fingers and wrapping the triceps. So there's like a little spin of this arm bone as you open it up. Find that cow, feel the heart open. We're gonna hover the knees, make sure you feel the core active, spinning the heels open, down dog. Keep active in the armpit. I'm picking up the left foot and I'm stepping forward. Low lunge, dropping the back knee, maybe backing up the blocks here, gripping all 10 fingers to pull forward. And I'm gonna open up to the side, but put more demand on the right hand, keep that tricep spinning. Bending at the left elbow and finding healthy circles. So I'm feeling the back of the blade, never closing up the collarbone. Left hand down, gripping those fingers, adding that reach. Keep spinning, maybe bending at the elbow, adding those circles. Allow the opposite ear to float to the shoulder so you have more space in the neck. Both hands connect. We're going to step that left foot back into plank. Drop the knees. I'm coming off my block, gripping all 10 fingers, lower down the heart. Find baby cobra. Maybe bending at the left knee, looking right, switching. How does that feel? Hips lift up first. Heart doesn't drop down. Child's pose. And walking the hands back into that quadruped. Blocks or not, choice is yours. Gripping all 10 fingers, opening up the chest. Hover the knees, down dog. We're going to lift up the right foot, stepping that right foot to the front, dropping the back knee, keeping the hand down. This really felt great with blocks. Left hand down, and your hips are moving back as you reach. Spin those circles. Switching sides. Adding that reach. Low back space is happening. Put more demand on that back ball mounted foot. No clicking, snapping, crunching. It should be nice and smooth, even if it's a small little mini circle. Both hands plant, stepping that right foot back into plank. Feel strength in your plank. Dropping the knees, the tops of your toes, lower down. Baby cobra, pulling the fingertips back. And then maybe bending the right knee looking left. Left knee looking right. Feel the stretch at the front of the thighs. Keeping the heart center open. Hips lift up first. Press down to lift up. Child's pose. You should be warming up. Using strength in our child's pose here. Quadruped. Tucking the toes under, hovering the knees. Feel that big imaginary string lifting you into down dog, spinning those arm bones. Left foot lifts, left foot steps forward, bending at the back knee, 90-degree lunge, firm in our hands, left arm floats open, pushing the right bull mountain into the floor. Feel that lift. This time we're picking up the back knee into a twisted crescent, and I want you to kind of spin if that feels right for your knees, and then touch it to one side, touch it to the other. And we're going to hold it here with the wrists crossed, wide angle, shifting front to back, getting a stretch into those inner thighs. I'm going to slightly angle my feet and then invite the shoulder blades down here, hinging from the belly button, energetically reaching those knees as I come in up into a goddess squat. Bending at the elbows, maybe floating the hands on the shoulders as I invite space into that side body. Reach the elbows. Keep the shoulders down. One more. Twisted crescent. Right hand plants. See if you can feel the feedback of your hand on the tail. Maybe even bend that right knee so your left hip point goes back, really paralleling those hips in a safe manner. Both hands plant, stepping back in plank. I'm going to come off my blocks. It's a little safer here as I spin my arm bones, dropping the knees, leading with your heart. Baby cobra. Looking right, looking left, bending and extending those knees. And then maybe float into locust. Pick up the hands on the front of those arm bones and maybe use that touch sensation to open up those collarbones. Both hands plant. Find the knees, lift up the hips first. Shoulders stay out of it as you press down to get up. Child's pose, big knees wide, big toes together. Slurping to one side and to the other. Bring the hands into quadruped. Toes touch down. Hover the knees. Feel that core each and every time. You got this. Down dog. I'm just going to move my body a little bit more forward. Right foot lifts. I'm going to bring my hands onto blocks so I'm firm in my hands. Right foot steps forward to the front of my mat. And maybe bending that back knee so I'm nice and firm, so it's just the wringing out of my ribs, gripping all 5 fingers to pull that synergy down. Opening. Maybe if this IT band stretch feels good, just kind of using the ball mounds of your feet, getting that ground force up into how to work the heart happy and hip happy. Shimmy around, alternating sides. Using the gentle pulling back of the fingertips here as you open up the heart. And we're slightly angling. So as we come up, we're hinging from the belly, right in here. So as we come up, we all work in sync into that goddess squat, pressing the wrists into the back wrist, feeling that back body, front body open up, bending at the elbows, One more time, just because it felt so good. Open up that heart, bending as much as you need to in those elbows to keep the shoulders invited down. Left hand plants, twisted crescent. Using those blocks or your friend. Bend at the back knee, the right hip point moves to back. Yeah, sometimes moving things back allows a liftedness and parallel of those hips towards the sky a little better. And then when you're able, maybe just keep spinning that arm bone. Both hands plant, stepping that right foot back in a plank. Feel sturdy in your plank, wrapping those triceps. Maybe this time, lowering with connection for 5. Keep the heart open. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Forearms down. Gripping all 10 fingers back. How do we do with shortening the lever? Bending, looking opposite, right, looking left. Maybe this time, make your breath. Move into locust. Spin and isolate the movement of your leg bones, your arm bones, and then maybe lifting up the hips. Bring your hands underneath the belly. See if you can feel the belly lifting, and then use your hands onto the shoulders here as you externally rotate the heels to widen. And grow into your locust. Maybe externally rotate, picking up the belly. Maybe this time reaching for the insteps. Flex at your ankles. Keep the fronts of the shoulder blades picking up. As you go. Feel the stretch of those biceps. Really put some synergy of the hands against the instep into the hands. And then without slingshotting, flexing at the ankle. And bring the forehead on the forearms. Gently windshield wiper those heels from side to side. How is your breath here? Hands plant underneath the shoulders. Hips lift up first. Press down and lift up. Big toes together, child's pose. When our hips are open, we have more movement into the curve of our lumbar body. Gripping all 10 fingers, coming through with that happy cow. The pits of your elbows are facing towards me. Toes touch down. Same rules apply. Hover the knees. Do you feel it in your core? Sometimes that's all that breath is giving back to us, is finding where the precious element of our body, what it demands. I want butt to heels and maybe spinning butt to heels, but keep those pits facing towards me. Butt to heels. Every time you take a breath, the nervous system is trying to figure out where's our pelvic floor, where's our shoulders. And this wants to notice if it wants to flare underneath. Coming back to down dog. I'm going to plant my hands on some blocks so I'm not closing down my heart, and put very mindfulness of my hands into the block. We're going to pick up the left knee, left foot, and bend the knee. Open up the hip. You can keep bending into the bottom knee to make that feel good. Just use that ground force of the hands to lift you up. And then rebalance that hip. I like to bend and shorten my lever so I have more connection, more control, and not losing my heart space. Moving into a standing L. I'm going to step my right foot down. Maybe I'm putting my blocks a little higher, but whatever it is, I am lifting, but not losing these armpits, these elbow pits, I should say, moving towards you. I'm going to bend my knee, maybe plant the bowl mound of my right foot into the floor as I bring my hands onto the thighs into just like a staggered leg Uttanasana. And then I'm going to go right back into that standing L, wrapping the triceps. I can keep my chest staying connected into the top of my thigh. And then I'm pulling my fingertips back as I land my footprint, keeping the heel lifted sometimes helps. And we're going to come up into a figure four, flexing at the ankle, seeing where you're at. Sometimes it's okay to lose the balance, but just touch the ball of your foot to regain that control. And then when you're able, feel the leg bones really sink deep into the hips. Interlace the fingers, opening up the heart here. Flexing at the ankle always helps. Make that breath. It's okay to wallow in the ankle. And then moving into tree, putting demand into that left foot. Maybe your tree is here, or maybe your bowl mound of the foot is down. But whatever it is, keep the front of the shoulders open, adding that reach. Maybe floating those elbows into the front of those hips. Hands come to prayer, pressing together, lengthening the spine, adding that reach. Hands come to prayer, adding that reach. Maybe closing the eyes. Opening it out. Stepping that right foot back. Warrior one, devotional warrior. Take the bend out of the knee. Side angle back of your mat at that reach. Warrior one, devotional warrior. Bending at the knee. Spinning the arm to the back of your mat. Side angle. Keeping the hip to stay spitting out. Last time. Warrior one. Feet are on two separate planes. Devotional warrior. And using that reach. Side angle. Maybe bending at the bottom knee. So you're feeling this corkscrew action of the heel into the floor. Both hands come to plant. Gripping all 10 fingers here. Step back. And then we're slowly lowering. Heart leads the way. Keep the spine long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up the front of the arm bones into locust. Adding that breath. Adding that length. Maybe lifting the belly up, reaching for those insteps, but not losing the front of those arm bones into bow. And reconnecting. Hands in print. Whipping all 10 fingers back. Picking up the heaviest center, which are where the hips and spine meet. So I'm finding my knees as I do this, and as I push down to lift up, coming with strength into my plank. Maybe using blocks, but active, and both of those hands pressing down, right foot lifts. And even as I'm bending the knee and opening up the hip, I'm not losing my connection to my hands to close out the heart. It should just feel amazing to breathe, inviting the shoulders down. Try that again, expanding into the ribs, and then inviting the shoulder blades down. Rebalancing that hip, and lean into your heart here, rolling those long bones. Right foot lands, standing L. Maybe you're coming into higher blocks. I like to rest my chest on top of my thighs, picking up the back leg. Sacrum is parallel to the ceiling, and we're going to bend that left knee and use the grip of the fingertips to pull back as that left ball mounded foot plants. And maybe coming into that Utkatasana. Sitting bones are moving out, so I have space to lift. Try that again, as slowly as we came up. We're coming back down. As I plant, I'm not losing my lumbar back space, my length in my spine. Sending everything, my limb out, but I keep that synergy back in. Gripping all 10 fingers, maybe even tenting a little higher. Any neuro quivers, relish in it. Really breathe it in if you feel a little quiver. I'm getting a little more of a Jedi mind trick with my leg kind of waving. I don't know if you see that, but anytime you feel those hints of spiciness in your nervous system, tell it that you're listening to it. Bring the ball mound. Push into the demand of the ball mound of the foot. So as you hinge, keeping that heart open. Don't forget to breathe. The glute is lit up. Figure 4, flexing at the ankle. And again, if you're feeling like you're falling over, just touch it into the ball mound of the foot, or maybe even crossing at the ankles to create that space. Maybe having a little deeper seat, but the shoulders do not roll inward. Flexing at the ankle also helps with that communication. Working like mad. Those hips should be really sassing it up. As you lift up, we're moving into tree. Your tree can be down here. Wherever you feel it, just don't put unnecessary work into the knee itself. Grow those limbs. Feel the armpit strength. Let's plant to the heart. I feel like a breath opening up from right hip point to left hip point. It's this broadening sense. Letting it rise. Coming on back. Awesome. Awesome job. Coming into warrior one. Feet are on two separate planes. Interlacing the fingers. Let the heart lead the way here. Devotional warrior. Maybe play with the bend and extend of that front leg. Back of your mat. Side angle. Shoulder blades squeeze on back. Warrior one. Feet are on two separate planes. Maintain that heart space to stay open. Back of your mat, side angle. Maybe remind the shoulder, stay back there too. Interlace, step it open. Glorious, amazing you. Every day, one more, just because. Side angle. Using that opposition sometimes with your arm to let your heart lead the way, leaning into your back body. So good. So amazing. Both hands plant. Keep those pits, the elbows looking towards me. Maybe three-legged plank. Step it down, switching sides. Keeping the shoulder blades down. Can you get even deeper? Switching. Ears float over the shoulders. And switching. Give me two more. Don't sink the hips. Keep length of your spine. That should do it. Bend the knees. Child's pose. Bringing your energy of your body to wash from side to side. Cheers to you. Sips of water all throughout your day. Consistency is key. So your cells know that you love them. You love them too. So we're just going to do a little upper back opening, chest opening with either your yoga block. I'm going to use my half roller. It's a soft roller, never something hard or heavy. We have soft tissue in our body, so we want to have softness into our tissue too as we simulate. So it's right by your bra line. And if you were to kind of get your shoulders to be invited back and get your heels to energetically pull towards you. If you're using the yoga block, it's already down, or you're using your hands to do that. But you're rolling your tail under, but keeping the chest open here. My heels are pushing towards me. My pelvis now rolls underneath. My heart never closes up shop. Maybe resetting onto the block or the half roller and opening. Energetically now use the elbows to reach in opposing directions. that breath, creating space, maybe bringing the windshield wiper of those elbows from side to side. Notice what side you naturally lift easier upon. And then frog leg, maybe support with a block if you need to, or not. Use your internal guide to check into what feels right for you as we tuck the pelvis under. Actually, try to bring the pelvis away, putting some opposition in front of the shin bones or the knees, finding that lumbar back space. Chest stays open here. And then maybe Buddha Konasana, where the heels land, maybe stimulating the hands underneath. Let the knees energetically reach. Use strength in here as you hook the thumbs, adding that length, adding that breath, bending at the elbows, hooking those thumbs, adding that reach, energetically use those knees, grow those sitting bones deep into your mat, into your earth, bending at the elbows, opening up the synergy of those fingertips, never closing out the heart as we create those circles. Riding the wave. Have you given yourself one more hug? See if you can now use the three bones of your pelvis. The pubis bone is rolling towards you, but the sitting bones are more demanding into the floor. Maybe feeling you need more space into the inner thighs. Using that breath. And extending those legs. Make this the most yummiest stretch of your day. Pointing the toes. Reaching fingers. Whether it's an interlace or a hook, you're working in opposing directions. Hips are down. Rolling to the side, maybe changing where you are at as you rest. I'm going to bend my bottom knee, top leg, ball mound presses down, and I'm rotating the tailbone under. Ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip, hip over knee, knee over ankle. Use that body sense, using the bottom side to help the top side open. And I'm barrel rolling to the opposite. If I have my block, maybe I'm taking the block away. If it's too diggy into the sides, pushing into the bull mound, bending the bottom knee, tucking my tail under. We need our hips to move in all ranges. And I'm shimmying down, maybe flipping. So my head is on the firmness of my skull. Just relishing the delight of movement and the gift of movement that you can give to your body each and every day as you move from side to side, maybe allowing the shoulders to even become even more down and the hips to become more imprinted so you can feel that space. Maybe coax it, maybe give it a little cat love, cat paw love as you hold on to that shoulder, putting more synergy of the skull to move down. Feel the curve of your cervical spine. And let that go. cheek sides. Give some touch sensation to your neck, collarbone. So long after you've practiced, your nervous system knows what it needs to do without you having to think about it. You can't think your way into posture. Your nervous system needs to work behind the scenes. Just like our breath works behind the scenes, so does a nervous system need to work behind the scenes. Come back to the center, maybe guiding your yoga block or your half roller so the chin lifts up and the chin touches down, maybe slightly angling as you try that same motion again. Take those focused breaths each and every time, slightly angling to the opposite side as I lift and lower. It should feel amazing just to be. Extending those legs out. Notice your Savasana. Give your body the gift of just being present, rested on your back. Bring back your breath. Be the observer of how you breathe. Sensing love. You are so loved. Maybe even repeating, I am so loved right here and right now. Letting that love dive deep into where you need it the most, that heart space. Maybe it's an injury. Maybe it's trauma that needs to heal. But whatever it is, you are so loved. Deepening your breath. Feel the subtle rise and fall of your heart space open. As much as the inhale, matching the exhale, keeping that heart space open. Letting that breath play catch with a subtle rise and fall of your belly. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe bending and extending the knees and the elbows. As you cradle the tops of your thighs to your chest, rolling from side to side. Feeling the love, feeling the nurturing that you can give to you every day. When you say you don't have time, that says that you're not important enough. And you are so super important. You are the best ever. Just feeling your best self always as you gently roll off to your side, taking a pause, and when you're able, come back to your most comfortable seat. Bring your hands in front of your heart, grow your spine long. Allow those roots to sit deep. Inhale. Open the mouth. Exhale. Let that go. Inhale. Open up the mouth. Vibrate every single cell. Inhale. Open up the mouth. Exhale. Let it out. Let that go. Let the energy flow within you. Allow the trust in the universe taking the reins, guiding you into the most beautiful day, in the most beautiful life, in this most beautiful journey. Thank you for being kind to all beings, and especially being kindest and most loving to yourself. Namaste.